The Potomac River is a majestic body of water that is a source of beauty, recreation, and sustenance for our nation's capital and the 4 states that surround it: Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Virginia, and Maryland. The Potomac is the 4th largest river on the eastern seaboard. The Potomac River watershed contributes to the even greater Chesapeake Bay watershed, a network of rivers, streams, estuaries, and wetlands that all lead to the ocean. Why do we talk about the Potomac River as a watershed? A watershed is the land area that drains to a common body of water, whether a lake, river, or ocean. Watersheds sustain life. It is the source of the water we drink, the water that irrigates our crops, the environment for fish and amphibians, and a source of recreation. What happens to the land and water surrounding the river is critical to the health of our watersheds and to our own health. More than 6 million people depend on the Potomac River as a major water source. Today, the Potomac River is one of the most polluted in the country. Where does the pollution come from? Industrial chemicals and waste, agricultural runoff, urban and suburban development, excess fuel runoff, flushed pharmaceuticals, and trash. All of these have created aquatic dead zones, eutrophication, species loss and mutation, and other environmental hazards.
What will help remediate the pollution? The Clean Water Act legislation regulates quality standards for surface waters and gives the Environmental Protection Agency the authority to implement pollution control programs. In the case of the Chesapeake Bay, the federal government can levy fines on jurisdictions that do not clean up the tributary streams and rivers. In general, however, the EPA's watershed management strategy is to build partnerships with local communities and tackle the challenge holistically. County governments are stepping up to the challenge, monitoring stream water quality and creating watershed management plans to improve water quality, reduce flood hazards, restore aquatic habitats, and increase public awareness. Citizen activism is at the heart of successful watershed management. Prominent groups include the Interstate Commission on the Potomac River Basin, the Potomac Conservancy, the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, the Chesapeake Bay Trust, and the Alice Ferguson Foundation. Not only do they influence policymakers and civic leaders to make environmentally sound decisions and investments, they engage in research and education, sponsor events, and support communities with grants. In the past 15 years, there have been over 3,700 stream restorations in the Chesapeake Bay watershed.
How do watershed organizations conduct outreach, attract participants, and bring about positive change? One example is a guide published by the Chesapeake Bay Trust to help groups foster environmentally responsible behavior in communities. Social marketing is a communication approach to promote environmental and social behavioral change through messages that emotionally and physically reach into the heart of the community. In 2007, the Chesapeake Bay program instituted a 7-week campaign to discourage the use of fertilizer for lawns. The program conducted market research, identified their audience, and then reached them through local restaurants, newspapers, radio, and television. The participatory approach works when participants have the authority to make decisions and lead change. An example of the participatory approach is the annual Potomac Watershed Cleanup organized by the Alice Ferguson Foundation. On April 6, 2013, 5,257 volunteers collected over 128 tons of trash from 191 sites.
What does the future look like for the Potomac River watershed? Between Clean Water Act enforcement and regional partnerships, there is progress in efforts to reduce pollution at its source and improve waste management. With the help of statewide coalitions such as the Trash-Free Maryland Alliance and the Trash-Free Virginia Alliance, citizen groups can advocate for regulations and policies at the state and local level to reduce litter that makes its way into the waterways. Increased environmental awareness makes conservation efforts more persuasive. Consumers expect companies to behave more responsibly and are holding themselves to higher standards as well. However, while there is positive momentum, widespread positive change will continue to depend on citizen participation in the political process, as well as changes in our own consumption and waste disposal habits. In the words of Mahatma Gandhi, we need to be the change we wish to see in the world.